Hi friends, it's Rabbi Briskin with a thought for Shabbat. This Shabbat we shift from the universal narratives of Noah and the flood, of Adam and Eve, to the particularistic narratives of Abraham and Sarah and all the generations that follow. While the first chapters of the book of Genesis focus more on the societies and nations in which the people lived, Parshat Lech, this week's portion, focuses on the individuals from whom the Jewish people will flourish, Abraham and Sarah. The portion begins with God calling out to Avram, who is not yet called Abraham, Lech lecha, go forth from your land, your birthplace, your father's house, to a land that I, God, will show you. God promises Avram blessing, progeny, and greatness. And of course, Avram said yes to that call. Our sages teach that Avram lived in a world that was dark and adrift, where people worshipped idols made of wood and stone and failed to see what Avram saw, God's presence in their midst. Abraham would bring light to this darkness. 20th century biblical scholar Nechama Leibovich teaches that as Abraham left for the promised land, quote, he was considered to be the only glimmer of light walking through a world of thick darkness, eventually spreading, illuminating the whole of humankind, enveloping the whole world with its glow. What qualities does Abraham possess that are so worthy of blessing? Awareness, first and foremost. He is aware of God's presence in our world. He is aware of the tired and weary when he opens his and Sarah's tent to the three messengers wandering in the desert. He is aware of the possibility of innocent victims when he advocates on behalf of the wicked people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Like all of our leaders, he is far from perfect and made some very serious mistakes. However, the model he sets for future generations about faith, hospitality, and justice continue to guide us to this day. That is why we praise Abraham and Sarah's name every time we pray, and that is why we are blessed by him, by Sarah, and by the generations that follow. In our day, when we emulate Abraham and Sarah, the first Jews, and their descendants, we carry forth the blessing that God first gave to Abraham when he responded yes to God several thousand years ago. So friends, may we continue to hear God's call, say yes to that call, and to be a blessing to all those we know and inspire. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, a time of rejuvenation and peace.